Hello. This is the chap who normally comes on at the start of these podcasts, this time affecting a simply dreadful British accent, for if I don't miss my guess, you're listening to this as part of The Rack, the Icebox Radio Theatre's new podcast of fantasy and science fiction. And nothing says fantasy quite so much as an American actor attempting to sound like something he's not. Now, we love all of our listeners, of course, but we especially love those who have stepped through the velvet ropes to become a listening supporter. Castles and spaceships are quite inexpensive to render here in the world of audio, but petrol money for actors as well as new microphones and equipment are somewhat less so. So we continue to depend on you, the wonderful listener, to help us continue to bring these stories to the world. Simply go to our website, that's iceboxradio.org, and look for the word support across the top of the page there. On that page, you can learn all about our Patreon, you can learn about our membership program, or even just how to drop a $5 in the post. We're not picky. We just appreciate whatever kind attention you and your checkbook may be able to offer us. And now, since brevity be the soul of wit, I yield for this evening's presentation. You are driving in a dark forest, the pine boughs heavy with snow. At the end of a long dirt track road, you arrive at your destination. It's a small, weather-beaten motel called Toujours Gelée. It's not much to look at, really. Just a single weather-beaten shack surrounded by a half-dozen equally run-down cabins. Out back, there's a dingy fishing dock right next to the spaceport. And a few picnic tables for cleaning fish conveniently placed right next to the time portal. So it's easy to dispose of the chum. Come up to the office now. Let the bear in the tuxedo take your bags. Ask the time-traveling Viking at the concierge desk if you have any questions, and then step up to the main desk to meet the owner, Old Pierre.
Hello, and welcome to Toujours Gelée Motel. Looking for something to do? We have all kinds of tourist information right over here. I invite you to select a brochure from The Rack.
From out of the north comes a legend, a fighter for truth, justice, and the Purple and Gold Army. Put down your picket signs and occupy your headphones. It's time for that frozen voyager of justice. Dome Dog! Tonight's episode, When a Hero Falls. You sure this is the right office?
Of course I'm sure. I cased this place for weeks. Even took a job as a janitor here.
You what?
Shh, keep your voice down.
You what?
Just for a couple weeks.
But they can make you now, Bruce. What's wrong with you?
Look, when we find the combination to the safe and get those diamonds, I'm going to be so far away from this place they'll need the ambassador's permission just to say my name.
And you really think he just leaves the combination in the files?
Look, I told you. This company is run by an old family from Belgium. Been in the diamond business forever, right? So when they open up an office in the U.S., they send the idiot's son to run it. Only he forgets everything. Forgets to tie his shoes half the time. Heard him tell at least 3 people he kept the combination in the file somewhere.
You better be right. I ain't gonna rifle through 7 filing cabinets for nothing.
6 file cabinets.
What?
There's 6 file cabinets. I told you, I cased the place real good, and my notes say 6 filing cabinets.
Well, your note-taking's great, but your math's a little weak. Look at the room, Bruce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, hey, you're right.
Of course I'm right.
I must have added another cabinet. Unless...
What? Oh, no.
Hello, boys.
By the love, ain't there something in the Geneva Convention against you?
Right, your congressman crook. But for now, how about you come along quietly?
Hi, Mustard Girl. Did you get my letters?
No, not this again.
Bruce, isn't it?
Yeah. She remembered me.
Well, why don't you come along nicely, Bruce? I'll give you my autograph.
You will?
What is wrong with you?
She never gives out autographs. Do you have any idea what that thing would be worth on eBay?
Well, that's disappointing.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'd never sell it, Mustard Girl. I'd never sell anything you gave me.
Look, Bruce, this is fun, but I have caught you 2 red-handed. Come along nicely.
Here's an idea.
What?
This, up close and personal, Bruce.
Whoa! He pushed me into you.
Are you all right?
What?
Ew. Okay, stay here.
Are you coming back?
Just stay. Good boy.
With one criminal temporarily incapacitated by creeper lust, Mustard Girl took off after the second nefarious fiend.
Idiot. Never working with that guy again.
That's far enough.
Ah, don't do that.
Your friend's coming along quietly. Why don't you join him?
You know, if I came along quietly like Bruce, my girlfriend would kill me. And besides, I like my chances this time around.
You like your chances against a superhero? That's a little arrogant.
I like my chances against one superhero.
Careful, you're gonna make me
You
mad.
can't catch what you can't see, Mustard Girl, and since you superheroes moved into town, some of us have upped our game with gizmos like this.
Wait!
Some of the time. See you, Bruce. Okay.
Come back here, you... Oh, no.
Mustard Girl, you okay?
This is embarrassing. The only crook I caught is the one who wants to be caught. Bruce? Bruce? Oh, perfect.
Mustard Girl searched the surrounding blocks, but the dastardly duo of diamond thieves were nowhere to be seen. Depressed and angry, the shape-shifting wonder of the world headed home to a small apartment across town, where a lone figure slumped on the couch watching the NFL Network, a pile of empty hot dog wrappers at his side.
Hi, Lily.
Shh. Harley, please. You're never supposed to call me by name when I'm in costume.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Have you moved since I left?
Of course. We ran out of hot dogs, so I made a deli run.
Harley, we have to talk.
Can it wait an hour? They're doing a biography on Ray Guy. Hey, no fair using superpowers to change the channel.
I didn't change the channel. I shut it off.
Same difference. And you know the rules. No superpowers for everyday stuff.
Harley.
But since that rule's out the window, I think I'll have myself a beer.
Harley, sit still for a minute, please.
How did it go tonight?
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about.
Somebody get away again?
Again? What do you mean again?
They're always getting away. And even the ones we do catch get back on the street in a few days. When I patrolled, I knew there were thousands I didn't catch.
But two of us could cover twice the ground. Would you at least listen to me?
We've had this conversation too many times. There's nothing left to say.
You have to come back on patrol with me. I know you're upset about Max.
You think this is about Max?
Don't bother denying it. You haven't been out on patrol in weeks, not since he
what? Was killed? He was sucked into a dimensional void?
We don't know what happened to him.
But we know why it happened. Max got killed by that... whatever it was, because I wasn't good enough to stop it.
No one could have been good enough. Not without...
Killing themselves like Max did? Then maybe that's what I should have done.
Oh, you want to kill yourself now?
No, I don't. Look, we're supposed to be superheroes. We're supposed to have all these gifts, these powers. How can I call myself a hero if I let my friend sacrifice himself like that?
That rift could have destroyed the world. And Max only drove into it after...
Go ahead and say it. After I couldn't stop it.
You're mourning. I understand. But you can't go on mourning forever, Harley, and the city needs you.
Meanwhile, many miles to the north, the gray walls of a prison rise up out of the fertile Minnesota plain. Inside the exercise yard, two lone figures walk listlessly in a circle. One in a guard's uniform, the other a strange little man in prison orange, with a complexion like aged cheddar.
Keep up the pace, Packerbacker. Rules say you have to have your exercise.
Yes, and why is this taking place in the dead of night exactly?
It's been determined that you are not fit for the general prison population.
Because they're all weak. Sad little men on sad little hills. I never needed henchmen. Lone wolf was I.
Yeah, and look where it got you.
Oh, prison am I in because I made a mistake. I trusted Dog Dome.
Which got you a lighter sentence.
Here's 20. Light I call that, not. Betrayed was I, for a fool was played. Not again, never again. Dog Dome and Mustard Girl used me and tossed me aside like a wax rind. Important lesson have I learned. Crooks you can trust. Do-gooders you cannot.
Believe whatever you want. We got to get you inside before the general exercise time comes around. Besides, it's nearly breakfast.
Grilled cheese?
For breakfast? Forget it. Besides, you're under strict orders not to receive no cheese.
Oh, my ways around that. A Gouda here, a Parmesan there.
Great. Now I got to toss your cell again.
Oh, cheese I don't have in my cell.
You don't?
No, it all stays with me so I can do this.
Before the guard could react, the fiendish cheesehead threw a tiny curd onto the ground, enveloping both men in a cloud marked by the unmistakable scent of Roquefort dressing.
Hidden in the cloud are we. Now all I have to do is grab this infidel's hand and let the compound do its work.
Wait, what are you doing?
As the cloud of fromage fumes cleared, there were still 2 people standing in the yard, a guard and that nefarious villain called the Packerbacker. Only now a confused look of terror settled on the Packerbacker's face, while an evil glint stirred in the guard's eye.
What happened?
Oh, nothing much. You're just a successful experiment for my new role-reversing Roquefort.
But I look just like you.
And I like you. Don't worry. It wears off in an hour or so, just long enough for me to tell your supervisor I'm sick and need to go home.
Help! It's the Packerbacker. Stop him. He's trying to escape.
Scream all you want. Who believe will they? A fellow guard? Or a prisoner known for being crazy?
Several hours later, back at Harley and Lily's apartment,
Only down by 14 in the third quarter. We can still do this, Vikings. Come on.
Picked off by the Falcons.
Oh, no.
No one's going to catch him. Pick 6 by Atlanta. Puts the Vikings down by 20. Oh, doctor.
What a season.
We interrupt this program for a special announcement. A bomb has exploded at the Mall of America in Bloomington.
What?
A lone man walked into the Viking store in the mall, told store workers he had a bomb, and apparently allowed everyone to escape the area before detonating the device. Witnesses to the event claim the unmistakable scent of cheese filled the air after the explosion.
It couldn't be.
No one was hurt in the blast, but the inventory of the store was a complete loss. Purple and gold is scattered throughout the mall.
I could... Maybe I could just change the channel.
while Harley sinks deeper into his couch of depression, chaos reigns at Bloomington's famed Mall of America.
Ah, it's good to be back.
Stop right there, Packerbacker.
The welcoming committee at last. Where's your partner, Musty? Mustard without a hot dog is hardly a healthy meal.
It definitely won't be healthy for you, cheesehead. So why don't you just come along quietly?
Nobody strong-arms me, even if the arms are 20 feet long with hands like spider webs.
I've gotten pretty good at confining criminals since you went away. You can't hope to escape.
Hubris is the first crack in the hero's armor.
What?
You're not the only one who's gotten better in the last few months, Mustard Girl.
From the folds of his cape, the Packerbacker produced what appeared to be a large sword and began swinging away.
Oh!
Did that hurt? Sorry, I only meant it to. And if I'm not mistaken, you can just pick up that piece and fold it back into your body, yes?
Still smarts. What is that thing?
Inspired by you it was. An expanding weapon that can take on many shapes, many forms. Hard cheese is surprisingly adaptable and strong when the right polymers are added. This little baby can become a knife, a sword. I'm even experimenting with firearms.
Hey, you almost hit that group of people.
Yeah, the gun feature needs work. Not very accurate yet. But while you're so nicely distracted... Remember this little jewel? Kidnapped you with it, I once did.
Stop!
One step closer and this unstable cheese gun will blast right into the middle of that crowd. Careful, Mustard Girl. A city you've pledged to protect.
I'll get you, Packerbacker. You'll be in a gray cell before lunch.
Big words, little girl. Maybe you'll have better luck if your boyfriend helped you. I'll give the old sausage head my regards.
Concerned as she was with the safety of many onlookers, Mustard Girl was transfixed to the spot, forced to allow the cackling fiend to fly away on his cheese-fueled jetpack. But that escape was only the beginning of the backward Wisconsinites' reign of terror. Over the next few weeks, the Twin Cities were subjected repeatedly to cheese-themed mayhem. First, the Mississippi River, which bisects the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, was transformed to our particularly fragrant fromage just in time for an unseasonable warm spell. Then, the famous University of Minnesota Golden Gophers hockey team was forced to cancel the first 4 games of the season when someone mysteriously transformed the ice at Mariucci Arena into a skate-resisting Asiago. It went on and on. Streets were clogged with cheddar, elevators filled with American, and freeways shut down by the awesome power of feta. And as always, the perpetrator of these disruptions to peace and commerce was one step ahead of the police and an increasingly frustrated Mustard Girl. 2 weeks after the spree of cheese mayhem began, the nefarious Packerbacker retired to yet another secret laboratory to plan his next move. On a wave of surprising frustration.
This is no fun at all. Dissed his beloved Vikings, have I? Disrupted his beloved cities, have I? And still the Wiener Man sends that curvaceous condiment to do his dirty work. What do I have to do to get a rise out of that guy? I might as well have stayed in prison and started a gang war. Now that would have been fun. Instead, I'm reduced to waiting on that moping miscreant. At least his beloved Vikings are enduring a season painful. Ooh, the game's on. Yaha, down by 10. I'll just sit by and imagine the sausage stuffer's pain.
Well, the Vikings look to be struggling again this week.
Good.
It's possible, I suppose, the club's guilty of looking past this week's contest for next week's big date on Monday Night Football.
What?
I said Monday Night Football. That's right, the New York Giants are on their way to the Metrodome for a contest that just could turn the Vikings' miserable season around.
Night of Monday, eh? The grid game's biggest stage. Fodder, that is. But for what? Think, cheesy, think. Formulating. Something's there. Nearly there.
And it's a good thing the fine taxpayers of Minnesota paid for Dome Stadium, since the weather forecast that night calls for good old-fashioned Alberta Clipper to dump plenty of white stuff on the Twin Cities. Oh, doctor!
That's it! Thank you, oddly specific sports announcer. I have my idea. Right over here. Yes, this piece of equipment. A long time have I been saving. In and out of storage lockers, nearly captured more than once. But your time is coming, dear one. It still works. And I have a whole week to calibrate and calculate, making sure this Monday night's game will be Dome Dog's last.
A week later, the Twin Cities have received a much-needed respite from cheese-themed destruction. But as the weekend winds down and Monday night looms, we find our superheroes wearing the simple garb of Harley and Lily, tensely going over what is now a very familiar conversation.
It's only Sunday night. Patrolling should be easy, and you wouldn't even have to miss the Vikings game since it's tomorrow.
I don't think so, Lily.
What about later, after midnight? You can put on the costume, run a few wind sprints. Just think of it like a workout.
You saying I need to work out?
Well, you have been sitting on that couch for a month eating hot dogs. It's starting to show a little.
You're not a fair judge. Ever since you learned to shapeshift, you can change into any shape you want.
What's that got to do with anything?
Some of us need to work hard to stay in shape. You don't even need to think hard anymore.
I am exactly the same shape I was before the accident.
Oh yeah? How come last time we got pulled over out of costume, your bra didn't fit so good?
You noticed that?
My girlfriend's boobs grew 2 cup sizes in 2 seconds. Yeah, I think I noticed.
Well, we got out of the ticket, didn't we?
It doesn't matter.
Harley, we need to talk about this.
We are talking about it.
I mean, really talk. I ask you if you want to patrol with me, and you put me off. I ask you if you care about fighting crime, and you change the subject. I think it's time I ask you the real question, Harley. Do you still want to be Dome Dog?
That's not a simple question.
I never said it was, but I have to ask. And Harley, I think you have to answer. What would Max want you to do?
Max is gone. He doesn't matter anymore.
Really? Because from where I'm sitting, Max is all that does matter.
Huh. Storm's getting worse.
Strange.
What is it?
Harley, come to the window and look at this.
Come on, the Sunday night game starts in 5 minutes.
No, really, this doesn't look right.
What doesn't?
Well, the weather, this doesn't look right.
You're exaggerating. It's winter. It's Minnesota. Of course it's gonna snow.
We interrupt this broadcast for a special bulletin.
That's just great.
Quiet, I want to hear
The
this.
National Weather Service advises all residents of the Twin Cities to stay indoors, as a freak snowstorm is bearing down on the city at remarkable speed. We go to Chet in the weather desk for more. Chet?
Thank you, Linda. Well, call me a chicken, because there's egg all over my face on this one, Minneapolis. There was run-of-the-mill snow showers in the forecast this morning, but now one of the most vicious blizzards I've ever seen is bearing down on us like a freight train.
This isn't right.
And as you can see, the most curious thing of all is the shape of this storm. It's been split in half like old Moses parted the Red Sea. One arm piling the white stuff from the convention center to the Metrodome, the other shooting off to the east far past the city, stretching right across the Great Lakes into upstate New York.
This isn't right at all.
What are you doing? It's freezing out.
No, it isn't. It seems too warm to snow. And, Harley, smell that.
What?
Cheese. It's not strong, but it's definitely there. There's cheese on the wind.
What are you saying? The Packer-Backer made this storm?
I'm not sure there's anything he's not capable of, Harley. What I'm not sure of is why.
Camera crews are inside the Metrodome setting up for tomorrow's big night game, but everyone has cleared the building as authorities are very concerned about whether the dome's pressure inflation system can withstand the weight of all that new snow. It's just lucky the visiting New York Giants aren't in town as they were scheduled to work out in the dome tonight, but the team's flight was delayed out of JFK and they are en route now as I speak.
Harley, that's it!
What's it?
Don't you see this storm? It has two arms, each stretching out in opposite directions. That's completely unnatural.
Oh, I'm sure it's happened before.
Look, one arm has localized the storm right on top of the Metrodome, and the other stretches in the flight path of the Giants' plane. Packer-Backer is responsible, Harley. He's trying to make you choose between saving the dome or saving the Giants.
I don't understand.
He knows I can't be in two places at once. This is his way of forcing you to come out of hiding.
Forget it. I don't believe you. No one can control the weather. That's crazy.
Harley... Okay.
Okay?
Yes. I am going to go get into costume and go find that plane. And I'm not going to the Metrodome. I refuse to go to the Metrodome, even if it is in danger of collapsing.
That's impossible.
You know that's not true. It's happened before, and this is no natural snowstorm. But they've evacuated the building so no one is in danger. That plane, on the other hand, has people on board, and they may not make it without my help.
What? Do whatever you want.
I will. I'm going to save that plane, and you're going to save the Metrodome.
What?
Do it because you want to see the game tomorrow. Do it because you want to get back into crime fighting. Do it for whatever reason you want, but just do it. I'm going to go find that plane.
With that, the ultra-flexible female stepped out onto the fire escape and with practiced grace, threw herself out onto the wind and transformed into the shape of a glider. After a second to find the right currents, plane-shaped Mustard Girl swooped and soared high into the air, jetting toward the flight paths over America's heartland. Meanwhile, back in the apartment...
It's impossible. It has to be impossible. I won't do it. I can't. I proved I can't do this anymore.
I tell you what, folks, I have never seen a storm like this. Given our Metrodome's sketchy history, I wonder if that old stadium will make it through the night.
I can't. I won't... Ah! Fine, you want me back, Packer-Backer? You can have me, but you can't have my team.
In an instant, Harley was on his feet and flashed to a small cabinet in the bedroom. A moment later, Harley found himself standing in front of the very supersuit that good friend and recent MIA Max had made him only 1 year earlier.
It's a little dusty, but it'll have to do. Look out, Packer-Backer. The dog's back on the hunt.
Meanwhile, somewhere over Michigan...
Mayday, Mayday. New York Giants Charter 019er is in distress. Mayday, I haven't had a radio go out like this in years.
There's something unnatural about this storm.
I know it. I just don't know what to do about it. If we don't get help soon, Wait a minute, do you see that?
What? Is that something flying toward us?
Yes, take evasive action.
No, wait, I recognize that plane.
Hey, that's no plane, that's a glider.
Or something like a glider. Did I show you that magazine from last month with the article on Dome Dog?
You mean...
Right, I think that's Mustard Girl in the shape of a glider.
She's stuck to the windshield.
What does she want?
Isn't that...
Gotta be. How's your Morse code?
Well, rusty as heck, but wait, I got it. KC. She's repeating that. KC. You think she wants us to divert to Kansas City?
I don't know.
Here, grab that notepad. Use it to ask her.
Divert to Kansas City ?
She's nodding yes.
Do you think we should do it without confirmation from Control?
We have to get out of the storm's path, and if the superheroes are involved, this isn't natural. Let's do what she says.
In an instant, the pilots of the Giants charter plane changed the great airship's course to the south and the Show-Me State's biggest metropolis. Mustard Girl hung on for dear life and reshaped herself into a giant stabilizer, easing the airship's way out of the strange, laser-focused storm. When the weather overhead finally cleared...
That's it. That's got them clear. Now all I have to do is find an updraft and let go!
Mustard Girl threw herself into the atmosphere, but like a sailboat tacking against the wind, it was slow going for the shape-shifting wonder, and deep down she knew she would not make it back in time to save the much-maligned Metrodome.
Good to get out and run again. I've never seen the snow like this, and this stuff's so heavy and wet, too. Lily's right. It does smell like cheese. I know that laugh.
Using his super speed, Dome Dog sped along the outside of the Metrodome, trying to locate the source of the cheesy cackle.
Gotta be around here somewhere, but he's too smart to just let me catch him. This is a trap. Well, Cheesehead, I think I know what you're after. And I'll just have to pay the city to replace this chain. Packerbacker wants me inside the dome. Mustard Girl.
I made it. That was some downdraft outside Chicago.
The plane?
Safely diverted to Kansas City. Oh, it's good to see you in costume again.
He's here.
What?
Packerbacker. He's here somewhere. I heard him.
You start around the dome heading one way, I'll head the other. We'll meet at the opposite end.
No.
What?
I said no, Lily. He wants me to go inside, so that's what I'm going to do.
Dome Dog, has it occurred to you that if a criminally insane supervillain wants you to do something, it might be a good idea not to do it?
Never again. I am never going to shirk my responsibilities again.
Well, that's good to hear, but I didn't think it would include suicide. Dome Dog, you cannot go inside that stadium. It's going to collapse any minute.
Never again.
I can stop you. You know? Wake up, Lily. Oh, you should have been quicker. Now I'll have to go in after him.
Having slipped away from friend Lily with his super speed, our hero moved quietly through the outer rings of the stadium until reaching the arena itself, a 60,000-seat bowl covered by a roof of steel and fiberglass, all held aloft by the power of thin air.
All right, Packerbacker. If you're here, show yourself.
Well, since I'm not actually here, I don't really need to honor that, do I?
Just like a coward not to show up. Did you tap into the public address system?
Oh, for safety reasons only, Doc Dome. The equipment I'm using for this little prank needs constant monitoring.
So you are responsible for the storm?
Of course not. I'm just focusing it a little. That's probably not even illegal now that I think about it. Say, what are you going to arrest me for?
Maybe I'm not going to arrest you. Maybe I'm just going to bash in your smug face.
My fun, you are not anymore. Understand I now why she's leaving you home these days.
She's not leaving me anywhere.
Hiding you are, then?
I hide from no one.
Ooh, a nerve I've struck. What do you have, a tiny hole? A little room with a TV and a mini fridge? Perhaps a corner of Mommy's basement where you can read your comic books and surf the internet. That's what the sausage-sucking wonder has become, a pathetic little purple boy afraid to show his face ever since his best friend bit it.
Don't bring Max into this. I'm warning you.
As I suspected. Well, blame you I can't. He was a brilliant man, Dog Dome. No idea how you'll make do without him.
Don't listen to him, Dome Dog.
Mustard Girl, get out of here. The roof could collapse at any second.
Which is why we both need to leave now. It's a trap.
Ah, the Ketchup Kid joins us. Splendid. Well, since you stood by and watched your precious Max give his all for the cause, you can now stand by and watch Dome Dog succumb to my intellect superior.
What are you talking about?
A surprise I've prepared for you. Right at field center, Dog Dome.
Look, there.
Someone's tied to a chair beneath the dome's weakest spot.
He's not moving. I think it's a trick.
Decide now you must, Dog Dome. I don't think the roof will hold much longer.
Dome Dog, don't!
I have to. I'm not going to fail again.
Wait! Harley! No!
Dome Dog, When a Hero Falls, Part 1. Featured Harley Droba as Harley, Ayla McIntosh played Lily, and Jeffrey Adams was the Packerbacker. Additional voices provided by the talented cast, featuring Justin Kapla as Bruce, the co-pilot, and many others. Dome Dog, When a Hero Falls was written and directed by Jeffrey Adams, based on characters created by Harley Droba. Sound effects and post-production by Jeffrey Adams. This program copyright 2012 by the Icebox Radio Theater. All rights reserved. It can be in the sound of the orchestra preparing, or in the sound of a sculptor working in stone, or even in the sound of laughter from inside a theater.
It is the sound of art being created, and for over 3 decades, the sound of art being created has rung loud and clear in northeastern Minnesota. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council has been encouraging local arts development in northeastern Minnesota through grants and services for over 35 years. Every year, they give out more than $500,000 to local artists and arts organizations, and that helps create $40 million in revenue and jobs created. To find out more about our arts programs or how you can get involved, visit aracouncil.org. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, where the arts flourish, you thrive.